Hey world, it's Raymond again. So today I wanted to respond to a few things that have gone on recently, um, especially in our world now where everyone is becoming more out and homosexuality is becoming more accepted. And in light of the fact that a couple days ago I saw the movie Love, Simon, as well as I'm going to my first gay club tonight, I figured why not tell the story of how I came out and how that has changed me? Um, for many of you who don't know, I was, um, I was, I didn't know I was gay obviously until I had hit puberty, and I came out pretty early to my mom and to a counselor lady, but I didn't actually let most of the world know until high school. And until even until this last year, I didn't know my let my extended family know. So, without further ado, I would like to present maybe 3 or 4 times that I had to come out because it really is a process. Coming out of the closet, people really have this misconception that once you're out, you're out. No, um, it's like a room that just you're trapped in that just keeps expanding. So, um, yeah, without further ado, I will start. The first ever time I came out, I was so afraid. I had been in a hyper masculine culture in middle school, and there was only like maybe one other or two other people that came out. There was one person who was just clearly, obviously gay. They had all of the signs and like the indexes of what a gay person was, and he was just clearly gay. And I was really jealous. I was quite honestly, I looked up to this kid, um, and other people bullied him and made fun of him, but I felt inspired, and a lot of things culminated to the point where I decided that I wanted to come out. So I had a counselor, like a therapist at that school, essentially, and we had already done groups because I had kind of learning issues, and I was a very difficult student, so I was in a group with other students who had learning issues, I guess to put it that way. But I ended up telling her I was so afraid, and I said I'm gay, and she said, "Well, it's okay. My uncle's gay too." So I didn't, even to this day, I don't know if she meant like, "Well, I'd be hypocritical to judge you," but I think it was more so, "It's okay." I was this little sensitive kid that was crying all the time, and to finally come out and let people know who I am, um, just someone else, was huge. Um, Even so, though, she was the only one that knew. So probably within that week, I want to say the end of sixth or seventh grade, I had decided I need to tell my mom. And that entire day, I just remember I was so afraid of the moment I'd get home. I was at school, so at that point I lived in like my third house, so I would get out of middle school and then I'd walk over this giant hill like a mile and a half away and then come home, and my mom wouldn't get home until later. But at that point, I think I was also staying after for some reason. I can't tell you exactly why. So I got home and she was already there because it had been 6 or 7 by then, I think. Anyway, I was so afraid, and the first thing I was going to do when I got home, I think she was home alone at that point, was to go tell her. And so I did. I came in the front door, went up the stairs, walked towards her room. That's where she always was. And she was just sitting there on the bed. And I wish I could like paint this picture for you. Um, and she was just so comforting in that image. And so I sat down with her and I said, I think I stuttered quite a bit, Mom. And then I said, I need to tell you something really important, but you can't judge me. You can't, um, what did I say? you can't run away, you can't hurt me. And then I just said it. I didn't stutter, really. I think. No, I did a little. Like, I am gay. But it came out. And you know that moment you see on TV where you have that supportive family. That's what she was for me. She she said, "You know what, Raymond? I love you no matter what." And um, that was just so powerful for me because, I mean, she was already the person that I trusted most in the world, but yeah, it was a defining moment in that if she'd said that she couldn't tolerate me because of that, then that would have ruined everything. And I don't know where my life direction would have went, but she took it very well, and I've had the most amazing relationship with her since. I suppose she had to take it pretty well because it turns out, 4 or 5 years later, um, she tells me that she was dating a woman. So um, I think kind of part of me coming out inspired her to accept maybe other options and explore herself. And she was in a really bad relationship with my father. I don't know if that was necessarily because of who she was, or what she had thoughts of. But I think, you know, the fact that that may not have been existent for her, that's awesome. So that was the first time, and I'm honestly, that rests in my memory, in my consciousness every day. Um, it really has empowered me to try to seek out and tell my story, um, and be who I am, and fuck the rest of the people. Okay, so the second time, my brother and my dad were not quite as accepting. I had definitely come out to a couple people by the time high school started, and it was kind of a question on everyone's mind when I released a essay in 8th grade about gay marriage, and also that I wanted to be a nurse. Um, Other than that, I didn't really show many signs of being gay, um, and I don't really think that that's me, being, I suppose, flamboyant or anything of that nature. But um, trying to come out, I found some community early on in high school, with people, but I was still kind of outcasted. Like in gym class, I would hang out at the very edge of the field because I didn't want to play sports because it was this part of this culture that I just objectified me all the time. But I came out to a few people, and I got to go travel to California in 10th grade, and came out to more people there. I figured, hey, while I'm out of state, why not have strangers know? And I definitely at that point had come out on Facebook. But when I came out to my brother, I'd say that was 9th grade. It was really different because he had never expected for me to be gay, really. But he had left True Life on, I think, in the living room, which, if you don't know, that's a show that documents people's lives and their lifestyle, however they decide to live. And this particular episode was about a straight male who did gay porn, because it paid like 5 times as much as any straight porn. And he was just saying all these horrible things, about gay men, and what he thought that and perceived them to be, and how this guy was gross. Why would you do that? Why would you have sex with a man and the truth is that there's a lot of straight men who have sex with other men because it pays more. But it was funny because that was perhaps the most satirical or ridiculous way that I could probably come out to him, because he said, well, Ryder, what if I told you that I'm gay at the end of the episode, when he was continuing to go on and bitch about this guy who he didn't know and was judging. And then he's like, no, you're not gay. And then I repeated and reinforced, no, I actually am, and I'm on a serious level here. I'm talking to you, not just joking and messing with you. I am gay, and he didn't know how to take it. So he at that point in the first 2 or 3 years, he didn't really know how to be supportive. So he would say things like, you don't have to be this way. You're choosing this. And I'm like, no, I'm not. So there's a different thing. At that point, I had known his opinion and my dad's opinion on gay people, and just so many people I know, their opinion, because many people were so vocal and they're just so hateful. But I decided, you know what, I guess a lot of people that I came out to, I liked seeking the moments that I got to come out to them in a very kind of justified, or like verbal justice kind of way, like that kind of stabs them in their back if they're saying mean things about gay people, or it's kind of like a potion. What do you call those? Like a remedy. I try to remedy the situation. So I came out to my brother, and then the last time I had come out to my dad was probably 10th grade. And that was very difficult because my dad was always so bigoted, and he said things that I just don't think I don't think he actually thinks about gay people. I just don't think he had his own thoughts, really, when it comes to those issues. And I think that's just partially because of the media that we were raised with. Very, very right-wing, very, against self-empowerment. This idea that all nails have to be hammered down. So when I came out to him, I was so afraid. I had dealt with physical violence before, and I was afraid of what he thought of me, and I suppose that's always been part of me. But I was so afraid that I actually had my mom tell him in my living room. So I sat on the couch, and he was on the couch further away from me, so my mom was in between on a separate chair. And I was already starting to cry, and I had mom tell him, and I didn't say much. I had her explain a lot of it. I had it all pre-planned for her to explain, and then I added on. And over the years, I've still talked to him about this, but it's very clear to me what his views are. And I think I've changed that a little bit, but it doesn't matter. When people believe in things for so long that are so hateful, they don't know how to cope with changing perspectives. And so that was my dad. I have to say there are a couple more, more awesome times that I came out. When the summer that I had gone to California, I was talking to my friend Taylor over a text message after I think it was like her birthday or something, and I said, Taylor, I'm gay. And it's funny because there's so many people throughout my life who never knew I was gay because they never really asked. And I wasn't, so obvious or so vocal about it, I suppose. And they would like fall in love with me, and they would and so it wasn't Taylor, but one of my other friends I had found out was really in love with me, and it really sucked to kind of have to turn them down, and for them to find out, especially for me not to have the right to tell them, because it was important that that friend found out immediately, so she didn't waste more time thinking about me, I suppose you could say. Yeah, so but Taylor was so supportive, and she's just an awesome person that I'm glad to still have in my life. But in other times I came out to extended family, I never like really technically came out to my dad's side of the family, but it's always been kind of obvious because I was out on Facebook and they were all connected via Facebook. But my mom's side of the family, this last time that I really came out, which really kind of puts an end to all of the fears that I have of ever coming out to someone, that maybe isn't a stranger that I'm afraid of like immediate safety. And that is my family. I'm getting support through college, through normal ways that families support each other, with car, with tuition for college, and to come out to my grandpa and to my uncles and aunts. That was very difficult because I didn't know if this support would exist. And right now I'm on the track to maybe leave college without any debt. So it really came down to how much it was important for me to stop hearing all the times when they say, "Oh, do you have a girlfriend yet? Oh, he must be a player," because they thought I was very handsome, but I didn't like girls. So anyway, I hope that if you watch this video, you take something from it. Coming out is so hard. It is something that it is the most brave thing that I was able to do, and that I think that so many people can do. And what I have to say is, it's important to realize, like, I think that there's this like system of merit within the gay world where we talk about how out you are, or how out and proud you are, you might say, and it's not really fair to judge people. As I've learned about, like, with the whole college thing, with realizing that if your family doesn't agree with the things you do, then you might be kicked out of the house. So it's not really fair to just put a blanket field over and say, well, you must be out, or you don't deserve to be in a relationship with me, or you're not as out and proud, as if it's like a merit system as other people. And the second thing I want to say is, I think it's really important to find those systems of support, because even today, as a gay man, who I come out all the time. In fact, I often have to preface my identity with the fact that I'm a gay man, because people often say things with the assumption that there's not a gay man in the room, or a gay person, and I have to make that very clear that there is. So if you like this video, if you want to hear more about my experiences coming out, please hit the like button, thumbs up, consider subscribing. I'm trying to make more videos all the time about issues that we don't talk about, and hopefully, find something that everyone really likes to view. So like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.